Divorce isn't the end, it's the beginning of your real glow up. Today we're breaking down how walking away can unlock confidence, peace, and a level up you never saw coming. If you're ready to transform your life, hit that like button and subscribe for more empowering content. Divorce carries a reputation dipped in sorrow, judgment, and an outdated belief that the end of a marriage signals the end of a person's emotional, financial, and personal stability. But the truth, the modern truth, tells a different story. Today, more people are discovering that divorce is not just an ending. It is a recalibration of identity, a rebirth of confidence, and a transformation that many never expected. Divorce can be the real glow-up, not because it erases the past, but because it forces a person to build a future rooted in authenticity, growth, and self-respect. It is the moment when people stop surviving and start thriving. The moment when the version of themselves that was hidden under stress, conflict, compromise, and emotional exhaustion finally rises to the surface and takes control. Divorce forces a person to look inward. Suddenly you are confronted with the central question: who am I without this relationship? For many, the answer is surprising. They realize that certain dreams were muted, certain passions were paused, certain habits were sacrificed. People rediscover the activities they abandoned: fitness, hobbies, social life, career ambitions. And this rediscovery is where the glow-up hits its first stage. You no longer have to negotiate every desire with someone who does not understand or respect it. Your time becomes yours again. Your routine becomes yours again. Your identity becomes yours again. The independence that comes after divorce is not loneliness. It is self-return. And for the first time in a long time, you begin to feel like you're living instead of merely existing. Divorce creates a powerful return to self. For many, marriage becomes a place of emotional compromise that slowly chips away at individuality. Divorce reverses that. It pushes you back toward the version of yourself that was lost. That rediscovery is often the most powerful glow-up of all. Another overlooked part of the glow-up is emotional clarity. When a marriage is dysfunctional, every day feels like walking on eggshells. You monitor every word, every expression, every reaction. You predict explosions before they happen, and silence becomes your survival tool. This emotional chaos drains your mental health in ways you don't recognize until you're finally outside of it. After divorce, the mental fog finally lifts. You start to feel light, sometimes for the first time in years. You sleep better. You think more clearly. You make decisions without fear. And with that mental clarity comes a boldness that transforms your energy. People often glow not because they change physically, but because they finally feel safe, calm, and grounded again. Their aura shifts. Their confidence rises naturally, without effort. Divorce restores emotional peace, and peace is the biggest glow ever. When stress exits your life, beauty, energy, confidence, and creativity enter effortlessly. One of the most underestimated glow-ups after divorce is financial empowerment. During marriage, financial decisions are shared and often controlled by the partner who earns more or carries more influence. After divorce, even though finances seem overwhelming in the beginning, people often rise to their strongest financial selves. They learn to budget, save, invest, and build a lifestyle that reflects their priorities instead of the household's compromises. Many start businesses they were never allowed to pursue, accept career opportunities they once avoided, or develop skills they never had the space to explore. The financial independence that emerges after divorce is not simply about money. It is about control. Control of decisions. Control of lifestyle. Control of future. That control builds confidence that radiates through every part of life. Divorce strengthens financial independence and self-reliance. When you are responsible for yourself, you also become unstoppable. Another part of the glow-up comes from social rebirth. People often lose friends, social routines, and even family bonds during marriage. Sometimes because the relationship was isolating, and sometimes because they didn't have time for social life. After divorce, people reclaim their social identity. They reconnect with old friends, make new ones, travel, explore new hobbies, and surround themselves with uplifting energy. This shift pulls them out of emotional isolation and reminds them that life is bigger than one relationship. Social glow-ups are powerful because they introduce new perspectives, opportunities, and sources of joy. You begin to see life as an open road instead of a closed room. Divorce reopens your world socially and emotionally. New people, new connections, and new experiences fuel personal growth in unexpected ways. The physical glow-up after divorce is real, and it's not because people suddenly feel the urge to impress someone new. It's because stress drops, time becomes available, and self-care becomes a priority. Many start going to the gym, eating better, sleeping properly, and taking care of their appearance in ways they couldn't before. Emotional healing naturally leads to physical transformation. When your mind relaxes, your face softens. When your soul feels free, your posture straightens. When you reclaim your identity, you start dressing the way you want, carrying yourself with confidence you never had, and putting energy into your health. Physical glow-up is a natural side effect of emotional freedom. But let's be honest, the glow-up isn't automatic. It requires rebuilding, reflecting, healing, and choosing a new path consciously. There are days when you doubt yourself, days when the loneliness feels heavy, days when the past tries to pull you back. But with each step forward, you gain emotional muscle. You realize you're stronger than you ever gave yourself credit for. And that realization becomes the most powerful glow of all. Healing teaches resilience. Freedom teaches self-worth. Reflection teaches accountability. And rebuilding teaches you that life can be created, destroyed, and recreated again, often into something better. One of the most transformative glow-up stages after divorce is learning boundaries. When you come out of a difficult or draining marriage, you understand your limits better. You know what disrespect looks like, what emotional neglect feels like, and what patterns you will never tolerate again. This wisdom becomes your armor. You start choosing relationships with intention instead of fear, clarity instead of comfort, standards instead of desperation. You raise the bar for romantic partners, friends, family, and even for yourself. This new level of self-respect attracts better experiences and higher quality people into your life. Divorce elevates your standards and teaches the power of boundaries. Then comes the internal glow, the quiet confidence. It shows up when you realize you don't need validation from anyone. You don't need approval to live the life you want. You don't need someone to complete you because you have already rebuilt yourself. You learn that loneliness is not something to fear. It's a space for self-growth. You learn that independence is not a burden. It's your superpower. You learn that endings don't define you. Your rebirth does. Divorce creates self-confidence based on personal strength, not relationship status. The real glow-up happens when you see yourself clearly, not as a partner, not as a spouse, not through someone else's expectations, but as an independent, valuable, powerful individual. Divorce strips away the layers of identity that were shaped by the marriage, leaving you with the truth of who you really are. And this truth is what makes you shine. Life after divorce isn't perfect, but it is honest. It gives you the chance to rewrite your story, rebuild your foundation, reimagine your dreams, and reconnect with your purpose. It gives you the freedom to love yourself again, deeply, unapologetically, completely. It removes the weight of a relationship that no longer served you and replaces it with the lightness of possibility. You start to take up space again. You start to laugh again. You start to live again. The glow-up isn't a makeover. It's a transformation rooted in reclaiming your life. In the end, the truth is simple. Divorce doesn't break you, it reveals you. It doesn't end your life, it restarts it. And the glow that emerges is not because you left someone else, but because you finally returned to yourself. You rise stronger, wiser, clearer, more confident, and more aligned with who you were always meant to be. Divorce becomes the real glow-up because it forces you to evolve, to elevate, and to embrace a future that is bigger, brighter, and more beautiful than the past could ever offer. Your glow up starts the moment you choose yourself. If this video inspired you, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a boost of motivation. Drop a comment on your own glow up journey. I'd love to hear your story.